in a business context, from a customer engagement and advocacy point of view, our business customers tell us that they want the HSBC brand to be more accessible to them. They want us to be more proactive with them. They want us to understand their businesses, and they want us to solve their problems. And we can do all of those very quickly and efficiently through social media. So we can tick all those boxes for the customers using this platform.
I think for me the big opportunity has to be that we have another opportunity not to be the last one to adopt this. There aren't yet very many success stories, and there isn't yet a model as to how to go about doing this. Financial services tends to be quite happy taking the follower position, lagging behind, copying successful models, and as a result we tend to miss, I think, quite a few boats, quite a few opportunities to shape how companies relate with their customers.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's about an attitude as well. We are a certain kind of bank. Not everybody wants to bank in the way that, with the services that we offer. But, whether they're sort of young or old, we do find that attitudinally they're the sort of people who are quite savvy technologically. So there's a high, proportion of people who have iPhones, and, the take-up of our iPhone app has kind of surprised even us, really. It's, just been astronomical in terms of the actual numbers of downloads. I think for us it's kind of recognising that our customers have a particular need and mindset. It will be split by the age groups, but I think it's how they're attracted to us as a brand.
And we know that the FSA, for example, is beginning to look at Twitter, because it recognises that financial journalists are tweeting increasingly, as well as brand, providers themselves. So I think there is very much this sort of, it's still very early days and people don't quite know how to play it, but some brands are beginning to try and transact via social media. If you think of, Facebook, Capital One is quite active on Facebook to try and sell credit cards, and Vodafone and Sky are two other brands that sort of spring to mind.
A number that I saw the other day, in September, 25% of all the pages served in America were Facebook. So actually Facebook is turning into the internet, and not having a transactional presence on Facebook in the future, but in the near future, I think is going to be a big of an issue, because we're going to be the wrong side of the fence of this walled garden that Facebook particularly is turning into.
I think what we've come up against are things like, so say we had a Facebook campaign running, is putting in place 24/7 monitoring, but proper monitoring that is, checking what people are publishing. And I think also another thing is our legal team they don't really exist rules and regulations for social media per se, and so a lot of the time people are judging the activity against traditional channels and applying those rules to social media, and it just isn't really always relevant. So things like opting in to Twitter feeds or allowing people an opt-out from a Twitter feed. I mean, you kind of get into silly conversations where you're saying, well, you've got to put that opt-out on every single tweet, and it's like, well, that's not how that's not how it works. Yeah. I'm sure there's loads of people in the legal industry who are familiar with social media, but there's a lot that aren't as well, and they don't. When you're having conversations with them, they don't even know what a Facebook page looks like or what a Twitter stream looks like, or so.
If I have access to the company account and I tweet or Facebook on behalf of my company with their name, certainly I would expect to be bound by some rules. And I think certainly anyway, at work we have some rules about use of personal time, personal devices and everything else. I think the block is perhaps quite a blunt tool, and I think the side effect of that tool is that most of the people that make decisions, going back to all your customers there, don't have access to it. So if I go to one of my executives and I say, I think investing in Facebook is a good idea, they cannot go on Facebook right now and have a look and see, are any of my friends kind of on there, are any of my contacts on there? Because they're not active users, they assume no one else is. And I think that side effect, that not being aware of it, closing our eyes to the fact that most people are actually on Facebook and on Twitter, is hurting us, or will hurt us in the long term. I agree, we need rules, and we need policies, and we need ways to control and to punish those that don't go by the rules, but I don't think shutting the door is the right way to go about it.
Is that there's a Commonwealth Bank of Australia's social media rules that got leaked to the Melbourne Age, I think, said if you see a colleague rubbishing the bank on Twitter, you should defriend them.
Well, exactly. Yeah, you can do stuff like that.
The opportunity for the whole industry is to, in my mind, finally put the customer or truly put the customer at the heart of their businesses and to listen to the customer. I think, for too long, a lot of people have paid lip service to that, but I think social media is changing that now. And unless you listen to that voice, you'll get left behind, I think, and you just won't keep up.
It's the courage to take a step into social media for
That's what
banks
you were
and
talking about.
any heavily regulated environment. Social media is very much putting the control firmly into the hands of your customers, which all of us sitting around this table would agree that a brand should do. But in a heavily regulated environment, that can feel difficult and frightening, and it's having that courage to actually give that control over to your customers to talk about your brand and experience your brand.
I think we have now another opportunity to be relatively early to this and to have a hand at shaping this, how these relationships happen for the whole of the commercial world. And I hope we come together now and we actually take this opportunity, because the next time something like this comes around will probably be in another 5 or 10 years. So I think that's the biggest opportunity.